Welcome to TLC, where we dive into the heart of our local community, its wineries, business, and real estate. Hi, I'm Troy Anderson, along with my co-host, Pamela Forgreave, and we're here to bring you a new perspective on what's happening in our community today.
Welcome back to TLC, Tend Life Community. As Troy said, I'm Pamela Forgreave and he's Troy Anderson. He is the owner of Tend Home Team, and we are here with our second podcast.
This is exciting. It's still awkward, though.
It's going to be awkward for quite some time. So for those of you who didn't listen to our first show, this, as Troy said, is all about wineries, local businesses, and the real estate market in our local area. Woodinville, Bothell, Kenmore, Kirkland, Redmond, etc. And our first segment is Sipping on Success, where every episode we are going to talk either about a winery, specific wines, or a local business that we feel that deserves a mention, that we like to frequent, that we think our listeners and the local community as a whole should hear about. So, all right, this week we're going to do wine again, Troy.
Absolutely perfect. I love that.
So for those of you that don't know, Troy is a little bit of a connoisseur of wine. I sometimes call him a wine snob, but, you know, that's behind his back.
Oh my gosh. Not super snobby. I mean, I don't like the French stuff.
Really?
No, I do.
You just like wine. Yeah. Let's be honest. So with that, Troy has a passion for wine, as we mentioned in our previous episode of TLC. So we want to bring wineries from this area to the consumers, to the local community, to let you know what you might potentially be missing out on. So this week, which winery are we talking about, Troy?
We're going to talk about Stevens Wine, which is a smaller production winery in the Artisan District, which, you know, those of you that don't know where that is, it's basically the Warehouse District and then go southwest. It's the other side of the Warehouse District over in, you know, North Woodinville area, but towards Costco, if you're familiar with where Costco is. But Paige and Tim Stevens started the winery, I'm not sure exactly how long ago, but quite a while ago, and they make some wonderful wines. I was introduced to them actually eating dinner at Russell's Restaurant, one of my favorite restaurants in Bothell. And the waiter recommended their wine, so we tried it, and then we ran over to the winery probably the next day and signed up for their wine club.
It was that good, huh?
I might be exaggerating, but, you know, I mean, it is fantastic wine, and we've enjoyed it over the years for sure.
Okay, well, before we dig into why this winery, why this wine, etc., you better uncork it.
Well, yeah, we've got Stevens The Crest. It's a 2016 Yakima Valley Reserve Cabernet, and it's one of my go-tos, one of my favorites. And
you can get the plastic off it.
Yeah, the foil's tough on these because Tim does such a great job. The winery's owned by Tim and Paige Stevens, and they are fantastic people. We just really enjoy every time we go in there and talk to them. Oh, listen to that.
Is that the sound of a good cork?
That's the sound of a good cork. I'm wasting time though, right? So get this foil off. Those of you that don't know, you know, you should always cut the foil properly to make it look nice, but I just rip it off.
Not because you're in a hurry.
Usually.
All right, so there's the pour going in.
Generous amount. It's very dark. So I might be misquoting this. I did text Tim earlier. We were on text, but I don't think he's gotten back to me because I procrastinated getting information.
And he's busy. He's busy making wine.
Yeah,
exactly.
doing stuff. But I believe these grapes are from the Boucher Vineyard in Eastern Washington, Yakima Valley area. So,
all right. So cheers. Okay. I'll do my usual, giving it a little twirl.
Oh yeah, you got to swirl it first.
You didn't.
I just
I
dive
thought
right
you were
in.
the expert here.
I dive right in.
Giving it a twirl.
Yeah.
Now, is aerating, is that the right word, or is that what we do to our lawns?
We aerate our lawns, yeah. So we we make the wine breathe.
Mm-hmm. And what's the purpose of twirling? That's aerating it, giving it breath?
Yeah, it introduces it to oxygen. It's been in the bottle for several years, and when you introduce it to oxygen, it brings out different flavors and notes of the wine. And the longer it stays open, the more the flavor actually changes over time. So until it goes bad.
Right.
Red wine typically goes bad in 1 to 2 days.
Okay, that was going to be my question, because I never know how long you can keep a bottle of wine open. I don't drink a whole bottle in one go, usually. So, if I open it one night, is it good for a couple of nights?
Red wine, I'd say 2 would be a maximum if you kept it maybe in the refrigerator a little colder than it needs to be. But then take it out before you consume it again.
Okay.
So you don't want red wine too cold. So
Okay. So
white wine definitely stays better longer.
Oh, it does. Okay. Well, somebody at the grocery store told me something wrong then. They told me white wine, get it drunk and don't
Get
leave
drunk
it.
on white wine?
No, as in drink it, don't leave it.
Gotcha.
And the other with red wine.
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly opposite.
Oh, okay, good to know.
White wine, leave it in the fridge, it'll stay for 3 to 5 days.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. So I don't need to drink the whole bottle of white wine, is what I'm hearing.
Well, I usually don't have a problem with that, but.
Well, yeah. Well, anyway. All right. Cheers.
Cheers again. Yes.
Okay, let's try it. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, you like that?
I do. I don't quite know what I'm tasting yet, but it's good. All right, so tell me about this one. So what bottle of this? 2016?
2016 Yakima Valley Reserve Cabernet. It's called the Crest. It's a very Tim was telling me the story, and I'm probably going to screw it up completely, but it's at the top of a vineyard, and I believe it's Dick Boucher Vineyard, which is he's a well-known viticulturist over there in Eastern Washington who grows a lot of grapes for some of the top wineries. And Tim, I think he said this is at the top rows of one of his vineyards, so it gets a lot of sun, so you get a lot of fruit forwardness on the palate when you first drink it, and then it kind of mellows out, and you get the kind of an alcohol finish, which is more of a little bit of heat.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me what you taste.
I'm trying to decipher it. There's so many different explosions of flavor going on my tongue right now, and I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to pick them out. Very different from the one that we tried last time. There's no notes of pepper in this one. I definitely got more of a fruit flavor from it, which is not usually, with red wine. I find it's I usually either get kind of tobacco or pepper, but this definitely had more of a exotic fruit tang or something to it.
Perfect. Yeah, that's what I get too. A little bit more like passion fruity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, look at me. I'm learning something already,
know,
and it's only my second podcast. That's fantastic. All right, so why did you pick this one in particular to try today?
I don't know. Tim always laughs at me. I come in for the Crest, and he can never find it in the winery because it's such in small production. But I just like it because it is fruit forward. I like a good dry wine. This one is a little bit less dry, meaning that it doesn't suck all the moisture off your tongue as soon as you're done with it.
That was one thing I did notice with that. Not that there's a bad thing having that kind of moisture taken away, but this doesn't do that at all.
No, it's a little less tannic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just different. It's what each winemaker has their own style, and so this particular wine I just enjoy from the fruit. I think the fruit's really good quality. It's made good, and I don't know what I'm trying to say, but just the way it finishes out is different than other wines. So I mean, I enjoy, he makes other wine called XY, which is a big, bold Cabernet that's going to suck all the moisture out of your mouth when you're done. And this is just a little bit different than that. It's a little more approachable.
Would you be upset if I took the rest of the bottle home?
I might be upset, yeah.
There has to be some perks to this.
Well, I've got another one at home, I think.
Okay. This is really good.
All right.
I'm enjoying it. That is really nice. Okay, so Stevens is the winery. We already talked about the actual wine and the flavors of it. Now, I just want to kind of go back to something. Clearly, you like this winery. They've obviously got lots of options for you to choose from. But you mentioned that you found out about this winery from Russell's. So as we're talking about other businesses and things that the community as a whole can partake in, let's talk about Russell's real quick. You said it was your favorite, one of your favorite restaurants.
I think they have the best steak around. I think Russell, he cooks it a little too rare sometimes.
For those of you listening, Troy and I have had this conversation because I don't like mine too rare, and I did go there once.
Yeah, medium rare to Russell, I think, is blue, and so you got to say, you know, just a little bit. You know, you want it maybe medium if you want it medium rare. But I get mine medium, and it usually comes out perfect. So
yeah, I asked for mine medium well, and it still was still wasn't cooked enough.
Well, yeah.
You know, but I'm a little weird about these kinds of things, but that's okay. I'm British, so you know. But okay, so let's talk about Russell's. I've been there a couple of times. I've been there for lunch. I have been there for dinner. What keeps drawing you back to Russell's, apart from the steak, of course, because that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, no-brainer there. The just the atmosphere is great. I mean, it's in a nondescript area of Bothell, in a little in the warehouse area. You kind of go down these back roads, and then there it is in a barn. The barn is super cool. If you haven't been upstairs to the barn, definitely worth a look.
And that Montecilla Park where you go down, it's where the North Shore School District building is.
Yeah,
down
Evergreen
there.
Church is down there.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's 228th, a little bit south of 228th, a little bit north of 195th. But yeah, I believe he started as a caterer, started catering, and then opened the restaurant maybe 2008, 2009, something like that. Mm-hmm. We stumbled upon him because we lived up the hill, and you know, just Googling things, moving into a new neighborhood, and found him, and just fell in love. We met what's the server, Dan, there is fantastic. So Dan or Laura is who we usually get.
You ask them by name?
We do, definitely. Yeah, we brought our kids there when they were little, and Dan always brings them out a milkshake. He still does that to
Oh,
this
really?
day. Yeah.
Wow. And they're 15 and 17?
Yep, and they still enjoy it.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, that's the sign of good wait staff and a good experience if you're still going back after all of these years.
Yeah, it's just a great community. When I go in there, I feel like it's home and family, for sure.
Yeah. Favorite non-steak menu item for you?
It's going to be the scallops.
Okay.
Yeah, with the beurre blanc sauce.
I know, I had those the last time I was there.
Did you?
Yeah,
okay.
I did. Yeah.
They're usually done a little rare too.
Yep, I did notice. Troy and I very much differ on what we think is good. My husband thoroughly enjoyed them. He really liked them. But yeah, okay. So you said 2008, around then was when Russell's kind of first broke onto the scene here in Bothell.
I think that's when I discovered them. I don't know if that's when they first got started or not.
Yeah, and they converted that barn, right? Because that wasn't that all kind of dairy farm many
years ago. Yeah, of course, it was
a
dairy farm. It was probably the original or the only thing in the valley before they came in and built tilt-up warehouses and bio.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is obviously we've gone through some challenging years with global pandemics, etc. And Russell's has come out the other side and is still standing. So that's great. It's good to see with any of the the restaurants or stores or whatever that were here before 2020. That have made it through and still here for our community to partake in.
For sure. We definitely rallied around our favorite businesses, and he offered a take-home steak box, and we got several of those during the pandemic. So
that's great.
Yeah,
I love the way businesses in the area, I hate this word, pivoted. I don't know why.
Transitioned. Adapted.
For some reason, pivot just triggers me.
Oh yeah.
I think it was just overused a lot. Okay. All right. Any other things or comments that you have about the winery for our listeners before we move into the next segment?
I'd invite people to stop in. They're not open every day, so definitely check their website. I believe Saturday and Sundays they are. Most Saturdays, some Sundays. I'm probably misquoting, but definitely check them out, Google them, and get in there to see them. For sure. It's Tim and Paige Stevens, and they've got great selection of wines. And they're usually aged in the bottle longer than other wineries. Like this is a 2016, whereas other wineries are releasing their 2020s right now. So you're going to get some older wines there. That's definitely worth the stop.
Excellent. All right, for those of you that want to check them out and aren't sure about when they're open, you can go to their website, which is stevenswinery.com.
That's correct.
All right, well, we will be right back after this very short break.
Okay. Hey, homeowners and aspiring buyers looking for a real estate team who are about you and your community? Look no further than Tend Home Team. We are here to help you navigate the sometimes overwhelming world of real estate. From buying to selling, we've got your back. Let's work together to find your dream home or sell your current one. Contact us today, tendhometeam.com. Let's get started.
Welcome back to TLC, Tend Life Community, with Troy Anderson, and I am your co-host, Pamela Forgreave. Before the break, we were enjoying a delicious glass of wine from Stevens Winery, and now we are going to tackle our real estate roundup.
Yes, we are.
All right, you ready for this, Troy? Because, I mean, you're the one that's on point here.
I know.
You're going to have to answer my questions.
Take another sip of wine.
Yeah, do that. Get yourself ready. Fortify yourself. All right, so the purpose of the Real Estate Roundup is really just to let our listeners know, where we're at with respect to, the housing market, the trends, and what's going on here in Woodinville, Bothell, Kenmare, and our surrounding areas, so that you will have an insight into what's going on, so you can make informed decisions about real estate. And, right, we're going to talk about the local market, including current trends and conditions, Troy. Take it away. Tell us what's going on and how has 2023 started out in our local real estate market.
2023 started out interesting. I call it a three-headed monster. But to articulate that out, it's just there's different sub-segments of the real estate market that I've seen that I haven't really seen before. So it's interesting. The real estate market's ever-changing, and the only thing the only thing that stays constant in real estate is change. So
that's not really helpful.
I know. What does that all mean, Troy? What does that mean? So
I was just going to say, just so our listeners know, Troy has been in the industry for over 20 years, so he does know what he's talking about. So you've seen a number of different markets, right? So
correct.
Okay, just so we know, you do know what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, sometimes.
Most days. Some days.
Yeah, so 2023 shaped out really. The first couple of months have been interesting. We saw interest rates come down a little bit, and we saw some buyers jump in. We call it early spring market. So in and around the Pacific Northwest, the spring market begins earlier for buyers than it does for sellers. So buyers typically get in the market quick. After the first of the year, they're excited. They've gotten together with family. They're talking about changes and doing this and that and making, finally pulling the trigger on something, and then sellers finally wake up and go, oh, well, it's almost time. Yeah, it's spring. Let's get our house on the market. So we've seen buyers jump into the market with the interest rates going down a little bit from their highs in November. They dropped down through January and into February, and they've popped up a little bit here over the last couple of weeks. So still trying to figure out how that's going to shake the market out. Where I say it's a three-headed monster, and there's different segments of the market, and I've seen multiple offers on properties that are well priced and in great condition go on the market, and then I've seen other properties just languish on the market. So King County, we had 1,600 listings on the market, and 1,200 of those were on the market for over 15 days. So that's interesting in that some properties sold right away, and the majority of them have been on for a couple of weeks, which that doesn't sound like a long time, but just a different than what we've seen previous, for sure.
Well, definitely the last couple of years, but I mean, am I right in thinking that hasn't always been the norm? It hasn't always been 15 days on the market seems like a long time. I mean, in previous years 30, 60 days was kind of the norm,
right? Or
even longer.
We're seeing properties, like I said, well priced and in good condition sell with potentially multiple offers, and then I've seen others that we there's opportunities for negotiation, and then sellers are able to negotiate with buyers, or I should say, buyers are able to negotiate with sellers in getting concessions and different things like that going into the market. So there's really a tale of 2 or 3 different markets going on right now. And then there's other properties that have been on the market. Like I just met with someone today. His property's been on the market for over 160 days and hasn't sold. He's looking for a new direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems interesting. I don't want to say there's not any consistency, but you're right. It's almost like there's 3 different tracks that are taken for properties depending on where they're at.
Yeah, and I've seen it different price segments too. It doesn't seems like it goes across all price segments, in that sometimes we see the middle market moving faster than anything else, or the first-time homeowner market move the fastest. But in this case, it's all price ranges. It seems like that's the case.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to just quickly go back to something you mentioned about sellers tend to jump into the market later than buyers.
Correct.
What's the reason for that? I mean, is it just a misconstrued idea that there's an actual cutoff point of when you should start marketing your property? And is that correct, or should sellers really be thinking of something different?
Sellers should be thinking something different, because everyone I talk to, they're thinking, oh, I'll wait till spring, or I'll wait till summer. Spring and summer seem to be, properties definitely show the best around here, but in reality, they should be on the market the last week of, the second week of February through the first week of March. Is typically then the best time to be on the market. Houses sell the quickest then, because buyers, like I said, jump in the market quicker than sellers do. So there's less competition, less inventory on the market, and you get good traction. Every year we see that.
Okay. That's not to say that if you've waited that you shouldn't still put your house on the market. We don't want to discourage anybody from putting their house on the market, but just kind of be realistic that not that you've missed the boat, but if it doesn't fly off the shelf as quickly as you thought it might, there's reasons for that. It's usually to do with the buyer pool being into the market earlier.
Correct.
Okay. Did I preface that quite well for you?
I think so. Yes. So,
I'm trying to dumb it down for myself.
Well, if you have the luxury of timing, then I guess that's why I was saying the last weeks of February, first part of March is probably the best time to be on the market. But most people don't have that luxury. You go on the market when you need to move. When
right.
you need to make that transition, or when it's possible for you to do so. And more inventory comes on the market as we ratchet up into summertime. So July is kind of the peak of inventory and peak of activity. We see it plateau out a little bit, and then in the fall we see an extra surge of buyers come in the market, and then it just kind of tapers off through the wintertime. But we measure the delta between supply and demand, so the top of the supply versus the top of the demand, and the difference between those two we measure throughout the year. And so a good time to be a buyer sometimes is going to be in the fall and
mm-hmm.
wintertime, when you're going to find properties that are still on the market.
Right.
So
maybe less competition from other buyers.
Less competition from other buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all great advice. But if you're unsure about whether it's the right time for you, get in touch with an expert, a real estate expert, and they can kind of talk you through. You like what I'm doing there, Troy?
Yep, and that's us, for sure,
mm-hmm.
Sure.
So any tips and advice for buying and selling or investing in the local real estate market? I mean, how would you recommend someone go about finding a buyer's agent, for example, and what can they expect from them?
Well, definitely interview an agent or several agents to see who's going to be the best fit for you. Different people offer different things. Different companies offer different things. We've been around the block. We've seen it all. What's that insurance commercial? We've seen a thing or two.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we're old and
no.
old and crusty.
We're young and spry, ready.
Yes. Well, we keep our finger on the pulse of what's actually going on.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so for interviewing a buyer's agent, you should look at their experience or their team's experience in the marketplace, and what their success and track record is, and then some perks that might come with it. We offer different things like home warranties for people. They don't think about moving into a house. You're changing it from one environment to the next. You have different ways of heating the house, different times, things like that. So early in my career, I got into real estate and sold a house to this really nice couple. Their first house, and 2 weeks after they moved in, the hot water tank and the furnace went out. Like,
oh no,
1 week after the other.
Oh, that's
so
hard.
they're calling me, wondering what to do, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys just bought this house, and now you got to spend all this money to fix these things. So after that, every buyer that we represent gets a home warranty, and that just gives them peace of mind when they move into the property. They're, if something goes out, they do have that coverage, and so.
Yeah, that's great. So my takeaway from that then, Troy, is, regardless of who, obviously we would love people to work with us, but that's not always possible. Interview an agent. Make sure that I would say also make sure that they know the local area really well. Not just that they have experience of buying and selling properties, working with buyers agents or sellers, but really know the ins and outs of the community where people are looking. So down to, the best schools, what's going on in the local community. Like we talked about in our last podcast, if there's development going on as part of the city that can be beneficial, and just knowing everything so that your agent is your go-to resource for anything to do with where you want to move.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be on top of the local market, and it's tough to be an expert in all areas. So, we tend to be, the northeast side, Woodinville, Bothell, Kirkland, Redmond, Snohomish areas. Typically, we know the most about what's going on there.
Yeah, we are the experts.
We are.
Not just about wine, but real estate too. So the moral of this story is interview an agent, whether it's for purchasing or for selling your existing property. But I think camaraderie as well, getting on with an agent and having a good connection. It should be a two-way thing. I'm going to be kind of the piggy in the middle here and say you want to make sure that you can work together well on both sides of the aisle. So for the client and also for the agent. I think it makes for a much better transaction for everybody.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you're working with someone that matches your personality style, going to be able to give you all the information that you need. And, the agent's probably not going to be able to answer all of your questions on everything, but they are going to be able, a good agent should be able to find the answers for you.
I was going to say they'll point you in the right direction or find you somebody who can get you the right answer.
Yeah, there's over 150 people involved in one real estate transaction. So, finding the right people to get you the answers that you need and to take you to the next step is definitely part of the process for sure.
Yeah, that's a lot of resources. All right, well, I think that is all we have time for on this episode of TLC, Tend Life Community. Just a quick recap. We talked about Stevens Winery, so go check them out and enjoy a delicious glass of wine, red or they do white, right?
They do some white, yeah.
Okay, so whatever your preference is, go take them. Go down there and check them out and tell them that Troy sent you. Call to action for everybody. If you want to know any specific questions or want us to answer any specific questions about real estate or businesses in the area, please connect with us at tendhometeam.com. And next time we will be talking about another winery. I think we're going to do Barrage Cellars next time.
Yeah, we mix it up a little bit, so we'll do that next time.
Yeah, and then we'll maybe talk about finding the best neighborhoods in the area that you want to be in.
Sounds good.
All right, so till next time, this is Pamela Forgreave and
Troy Anderson
with Tend Home Team, and this is TLC, Tend Life Community. See you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Listeners, are you looking for a real estate company that truly cares about the community and has a wealth of experience in the local market? Look no further than Tend Home Team. With over 20 years of experience here in the Pacific Northwest, we know the ins and outs of the real estate market like the back of our hand. Whether you're buying or selling a home, our team of experts is here to guide you every step of the way. And best of all, we make the process fun and stress-free. We love getting to know our clients and helping them find their dream home or sell their property quickly and easily. So if you want a real estate company that's truly focused on you and your needs, choose Tend Home Team. We can't wait to work with you. Contact us at tendhometeam.com or 206-504-3660.